What's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back for another video, and this will be my long-awaited first Browns mock draft of the year. Now, this will only be a 3-round mock draft, so only doing 3 rounds. Now, we do have 6 picks in the first 3 rounds, so that's pretty cool, but I figured, 3 rounds is enough for right now. Now, I utilized the website fanspeak.com to do this mock draft, and Fanspeak gave my Browns the number 2 pick in the draft. I was like, wait, shouldn't we be number 1? But, of course, there's 2 winless teams right now, and we're 0-8, and the Niners are 0-9. So I understand why they have us at number 2. But nevertheless, let's get right to the mock draft, starting with the number 2 pick in the draft. I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Saquon Barkley, running back out of Penn State. Now, there's going to be a lot of haters saying that we should take a quarterback here. But honestly, I want to see how Kaiser does to end this year, especially with Corey Coleman and Josh Gordon coming back. If Kaiser goes out there and balls out with those 2 on the field, we don't really need a quarterback. We need to get our quarterback some weapons. That's what we really need to do, to be honest. But then again, if Kaiser goes out there and completely stinks up the joint, even with Gordon and Coleman, yeah, I think we need a new quarterback. But I have us taking Barkley at number 2 because Crowell ain't getting it done. This dude's over here tripping on his own 2 feet and getting tackled by air. Now, last year, he was going off. This year, well, he never got started. He straight up sucks. I know he's trying to get that money, but he ain't getting nothing with the way he's playing. And I honestly think Saquon Barkley would fit perfectly here. He's that kind of running back that will run people over. Not to mention, he's very athletic. I've seen that dude hurdle people. And, oh, yeah, he can also return kicks. So that's awesome to see. Not to mention, I've seen him firsthand. And granted, the defense kind of held him back. But other than, his poor performances these past few weeks, just because they haven't really been giving him the ball, he's been looking pretty good. So I would take Barkley over Crowell any day. Now, with the 7th pick in the first round, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Josh Rosen, quarterback out of UCLA. Now, this could change depending on how Kaiser performs in the second half of the season, like I said. So, for now, I have us taking Josh Rosen. And I would love if we could get Josh Rosen because he's honestly one of the best quarterbacks in this class. If we have to take a quarterback, I would take Rosen. Not to mention he led a nice comeback against Texas A&M. He's a savage. All right, with the 34th pick, 2nd pick in the 2nd round, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting wide receiver Courtland Sutton out of SMU. Now, again, this pick could very well change depending who's on the board. I still have us taking a receiver at this spot, but I would take Calvin Ridley if he's there. But if he's not, I would definitely take Courtland Sutton. He's a big possession receiver who is very reliable, especially with a quarterback like Kaiser. And if we take Rosen, hey, I would always take a receiver if we take a quarterback, so then they can gain instant chemistry. Or we could even take Equanimus St. Brown, who played with Kaiser in college. That's even better, honestly. But he wasn't on the board when I made this mock. So, yeah, I would take something there. And then with the 39th pick, 7th pick in the 2nd round, 5 picks later, I have the Browns selecting Josh Jackson, corner out of Iowa. I saw this guy firsthand, much like Barkley, and He looked really, really good. I believe he had a hat trick, 3 interceptions against JT Barrett. Granted, JT Barrett freaking sucks. He has a great game against Penn State, and then he comes out against Iowa and craps the bed. Of course. I honestly can't wait until JT Barrett graduates so then, we can see a good quarterback again because Dwayne Haskins is actually really good, but being stuck behind JT Barrett must suck, especially watching JT go out there and crap the bed. I think if Haskins was out there or even Tate Martell or Joe Burrow, it would have looked pretty good. But JT Barrett, yeah, no, he sucks. And Josh Jackson brutalized him. 3 interceptions, including a sick interception. I believe he caught it with one hand. It was insane. Like he's an athlete. And I love those kind of guys. I love those kind of corners who can go up and get it. You may not think they can, but then they amaze you in many ways. And I would love a guy like that. Now, with the 32nd pick in the second round, 64th overall, I have the Browns selecting tackle DeMarco Jones out of Ohio State. Yes, I have us picking an Ohio State player. People may ask, well, you have Rod Johnson. What's wrong with him? Well, the thing about him is he's got stiff hips, and Myles Garrett absolutely abused him in training camp, and it got to the point where he got abused so bad, Garrett literally turned to him and flexed on him. You do not get flexed by that kind of guy and then recover. No, your ego is gone. Your reputation is gone. You just got flexed on by the number 1 pick. Like, you suck. Not to mention he's hurt. So I would love it if we got DeMarco Jones. He's the kind of guy. He's like a Joe Thomas almost. I would trust DeMarco to back up Thomas. Not so much Rod Johnson. Not to mention Rod is a guaranteed holding penalty every game. He isn't the best. Now, with the second pick in the third round, 66th overall, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting wide receiver Simmi Cobbs Jr. out of Indiana. Watching this guy week 1 against Ohio State, another guy I've seen firsthand. I mean, he abused our corners for the most part. Like, all the quarterback had to do was just throw it up to him, and he went up and got it and made our corners look weak. I believe he was also matched up on Denzel Ward, too. And he made him look weak. And Denzel Ward is actually really, really good for the most part. He has gotten beaten a few times, but for the most part, he's really good. I would take Denzel Ward, too, if he's there. But Simmi Cobbs is that kind of receiver, who you can really rely on in the red zone, which is a place where the Browns have stunk this year. Usually, with a good team in the red zone, you can bet on them scoring a touchdown. With the Browns, that's another story. We've been in the red zone countless times, and a lot of times we fail to score a single point because we commit some stupid turnover. So I would love to have a receiver like Simmi Cobbs to go along with Sutton, possibly Ridley, Gordon, and Coleman. And there's a guy that Browns fans really want them to go after in free agency by the name of Jarvis Landry. Okay, imagining Landry, Gordon, Coleman, Sutton, and Cobbs. How in the heck are you going to stop that receiving core? Especially with a guy like David Njoku or Seth DeValve at tight end and Saquon Barkley at running back. Oh my God. I just had those thoughts of a nasty offense to go along with an absolutely amazing defense. But I can only dream because knowing the Browns, they're going to mess it up somehow. After all, they are the Browns. The reputation when it comes to drafting isn't very good. I mean, they actually had a good draft this past year. So we'll see if they can make it 2 in a row, especially because most likely this offseason could be the biggest and most important offseason that this front office has ever had in their 3 years. I mean, their first year, they caught a break. It's like, okay, this is their first offseason. Let's see what they can scrape up. And then this past year, they improved, looked better, drafted some good players. And now, this upcoming offseason, they got to go for it. This team's going to have a crap ton of money, a crap ton of draft picks. Do I really think we're going to bring in another small army when it comes to another large draft class? No. I wouldn't be surprised if we packaged up some picks for a player come, once the free agency period begins. Maybe we trade for a player, package up some picks to move up in the draft or to acquire a player. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, but we'll see what happens. I don't even know if we're going to keep everyone in the front office because there's a rumor that we may be hiring a GM come the offseason by the name of maybe a guy by the name of Peyton Manning. That's a rumor going around. I don't know the legitimacy. I've heard people say that he's been offered. I have, no truth to that. So we'll see what happens. But hope you guys liked my first mock draft of the year. Of course, this is the first one, so it will change. That's the beauty of this one this year, is that there's no guaranteed number one pick if we do get the number one pick. This past year it was Myles Garrett or bust. This year it's Saquon Barkley, maybe Josh Rosen, hell, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield. Those are other names I've heard. It's going to be interesting, but still got a long way to go. So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. I'm Crazy Dog 99. My next Browns mock draft will be coming after the season ends for the Browns, so be on the lookout for that. I know a lot's going to change. So, yeah, I'll see you then. So, I'm Crazy Dog 99. Let's go Browns, and I'm out.